Everybody thinks they train really hard until they sign up with us, and then they realize they trained like absolute pansies their entire lives, which is a great realization to make because it opens up an entire new world of possibilities when it comes to muscle building. I'm David Mirza from Catalyst. We're a team of coaches training people and getting them in the best shape of their lives. In today's video, we're going to talk about training hard and quantifying what training hard is. We're going to talk about proximity to failure, what failure is, and why the last few reps of a set are the only ones that you should worry about. So let's start with looking at the science. You can see the y-axis here is muscle size increase, and the x-axis is proximity to failure. That means if our person would have gotten to this point, they would not have been able to complete another rep. As you can see, when you are further away from failure, meaning you're leaving a lot of reps in the tank, muscle increase is not really significant. And as soon as you go closer to this range, suddenly it's a much higher muscle increase. Now, what I really like about this chart is that it includes velocity loss, which is by definition something that comes before getting to failure. So a natural progression of a set is that as you get closer to the point where you are unable to do one more rep, the reps preceding it will progressively start slowing down until it comes to a halt. And as you can see, this chart really differentiates that these higher rates of muscle gain will happen at a moderate to high velocity loss only. Now, if I were to quantify it, this would be in roughly the 3 to 0 reps in reserve range. So that means I'm leaving anywhere between 0 to 3 reps in the tank only. Usually it's about 3 reps out on a set of, let's say, 6 to 12 when velocity loss starts getting into this moderate range. This means if you are doing a set of 8, the first 5 reps that are here literally serve no purpose other than getting to the last 3 reps that yield the most amount of results. And this is where most people mess up, because they get to these harder reps, they get closer to failure, the reps start slowing down, and they're like, okay, I'm out. As soon as it gets a little bit more challenging, as soon as it starts slowing down a little bit, people just put the weight down and they rob themselves of these last 2 or 3 most valuable reps that create the most change. Now let's take a look at what this looks like in practice. So here I'm doing a set of dips, and I only want you to focus on the speed of the reps. What you will notice is every rep is roughly the same speed. It's controlled on the way down, I give it the slightest pause at the bottom, and then I control it back on the way up. But as I progress with the set, the part of the rep where I'm working against gravity, so the way up, starts naturally slowing down. It's not me slowing it down, they just naturally start slowing down because the muscle is unable to contract. So this was my first rep. Rep 2, same range, same control, same tempo, same exact thing. I'm actually touching the pin with my nose at the bottom to indicate the range. You can see that this rep now started slowing down on the way up. This is where most people just quit. This is where they put the weight down. They're like, oh my god, this was hard, cool, that's it. Look how many more reps I will be getting that are progressively harder, progressively slower, and progressively more beneficial when it comes to muscle building. Next rep, again, even slower than the previous one. Next rep, I'm expecting to be even slower than the previous one. This, I'm almost getting stuck, right? Now here, if I went into it straight away, I probably wouldn't get another rep. If I get another extra breath at the top, I would be able to get one more. Now at this rep, you can see it's so slow, I'm almost coming to a halt at this point, and it will keep moving a little bit and I almost get stuck once again. Now, as long as it keeps moving, I keep pushing. This is the principle that you have to apply. As long as it keeps moving, you keep pushing, because it doesn't matter how slowly the weight moves, as long as it's moving, it's still a rep. And if you chicken out, if you put the weight down, you're robbing yourself of the most valuable reps. So I'm almost getting stuck, I look out, and that's it, that's the end of the set. So from the point where the weight started slowing down and where most people would put the weight down, I got another 3 reps. Let's look at another example. Don't try to understand this machine, it's in a hotel gym. Second rep, same tempo. Third rep, starting to slow down already, actually slightly. This is definitely slower now. I lock in, you just keep pulling. As long as it keeps moving, you keep pulling. That was a slow rep. Next one will be even slower. Yep, almost getting stuck. Actually, that was a little bit shorter rep. That was kind of poo-poo. So the lesson here is, when most people start, they are about here. They maybe experience a low amount of velocity loss. The reps start to slow down a little bit and they're like, oh my God, this is so hard. And they put the weight down. Oh, I cannot do anymore. And as you can see, by a measurable, quantifiable standpoint, they achieve about half the muscle gain they could be achieving. Now again, granted, this is only if they actually get to this level of a low velocity loss. Some people just aim for, let's say, 12 reps, they get the 12 reps done, and that's the end of their set, where they might have been able to do, I don't know, 17, 18 reps, and they experience no velocity loss at all. The weight doesn't start slowing down, and that means they won't even be at this level. Maybe they are down here experiencing a quarter of the muscle building benefits that they could be experiencing. So how I get our clients to think about this is, get to the point where the weight starts slowing down. Once it starts slowing down, understand that is not the end of the set. That is just an indicator that the end of the set is near. So once the reps start slowing down, you probably have anywhere between 2 to 3 more reps to do. And from there, once you accept it consciously that you actually have 2 or 3 more reps in the tank, it becomes easier, because the whole experience is not whether I have any more reps, but how do I get the last 2-3 reps that I have in the tank. And from there, if you keep practicing and you get better at it, over time you will be able to get those last few reps as well, until you once, for the first time in your life, on an upper body press, like everyone does, get to failure. You'll be doing a Smith machine press or something and you realize, I'm pushing as hard as I possibly can and the weight is not moving. Perfect. Now you achieved failure on an upper body press, and now your job is to get to the same level on everything else as well. And you will realize next one will be upper body pulling, where you can achieve failure, and then the next one will be lower body pulling, and the next one lower body pushing, because lower body pushing is so much more demanding on a systemic level that it's actually really hard psychologically to get to failure on it. I hope this was useful. Sign up to our newsletter when I talk more about health, and give us a subscribe if you like this.